Feeling overwhelmed lately? Stressed about work, relationships, or just life in general? Well, what if I told you that there's a philosophy that's been around for thousands of years that holds the key to staying calm, no matter what life throws your way? In this video, we're going to break down how you can use the teachings of Stoicism to handle stress and live a more meaningful, peaceful life. And hey, if it worked for Roman emperors and philosophers, why not us? Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Accept what you can't control. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the idea that we should focus only on what we can control and let go of the rest. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This lesson is at the heart of how Stoics handle stress. Most of the stress we experience comes from worrying about things outside of our control, other people's actions, unpredictable events, or the future. When we obsess over things we can't change, we waste mental energy, leaving us more stressed and less able to deal with the things we actually can influence. Stoics remind us to differentiate between what's within our power, our thoughts, actions, and responses, and what's not, like the opinions of others or external circumstances. Imagine being stuck in traffic. You can't control the traffic, but you can control how you react to it. You can choose to fume and stress, or you can listen to a podcast, enjoy some quiet time, or practice patience. The choice is yours. In stressful situations, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, focus on what you can do and how you can approach the situation with a calm, rational mindset. By making this distinction, we reduce unnecessary stress and channel our energy toward positive action. Letting go of what we can't control doesn't mean we're indifferent. It means we're wise enough to focus on what truly matters. This shift in perspective is key to living a more peaceful, less stressful life. Lesson 2. The power of perspective. Another core lesson in Stoicism is the power of perspective. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In other words, how we view a situation has a significant impact on how we feel about it. Often we magnify our problems by giving them more weight than they deserve. Something small can feel overwhelming when we focus on the negative aspects of it. But when we change our perspective, we gain clarity and can handle stress with more composure. Think of it like zooming out on a map. When you're too close to a stressful situation, it feels enormous. But when you zoom out, you see the bigger picture. It's just one part of your life, not the whole story. Let's say you've had a rough day at work. Instead of spiraling into frustration, take a step back and remind yourself, will this matter a year from now? Probably not. Shifting your perspective helps you see that most stresses are temporary and don't deserve the level of emotional energy we give them. The Stoics taught us that perspective is a choice. We can't always change what happens, but we can always change how we interpret it. By choosing to see challenges as opportunities for growth, we transform stress into something we can work with rather than something that works against us. So, the next time you're feeling overwhelmed, take a breath and try to look at the situation from a different angle. This simple shift in perspective can significantly reduce stress and help you approach life with a clearer mind. Lesson 3. Embrace adversity as growth. In the teachings of Stoicism, adversity is not something to be feared or avoided. It is something to be embraced. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is a powerful mindset shift that turns stress and challenges into opportunities for growth. Every difficulty we face has the potential to teach us something. Whether it's resilience, patience, or strength, there is always a lesson hidden within adversity. The Stoics believed that the more we are tested, the stronger we become. It's like a blacksmith forging a sword. The more heat and hammering, the sharper and more resilient the blade becomes. When we encounter stress, we have a choice. We can let it break us, or we can let it shape us. By reframing obstacles as part of our journey, we begin to see stress not as a burden, but as a teacher. This doesn't mean we seek out pain or hardship, but when it comes, we accept it with the understanding that it's a necessary part of growth. Imagine training at the gym. It's the resistance, pushing against the weight, that builds muscle. Life's challenges work the same way. The more we face adversity with a stoic mindset, the more equipped we become to handle future stress. So when life throws obstacles in your path, don't shrink away from them. Embrace them as opportunities for growth. This mindset will not only reduce stress, but will also help you build resilience that will serve you in all areas of life. Lesson 4. Practice self-control. Self-control is a cornerstone of Stoicism. As Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When we allow stress to control our emotions, we lose our ability to think clearly and act with reason. Stoics believe that true freedom comes from mastering our impulses and maintaining inner discipline, even in the face of stress. Think about the last time you reacted impulsively to a stressful situation. Maybe you lashed out at someone, made a hasty decision, or let your emotions dictate your actions. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to let stress take over, but that's when practicing self-control is most important. Self-control allows us to take a step back, breathe, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. It's the difference between letting stress run your life and taking charge of how you handle it. When we master self-control, we don't let external circumstances dictate our inner state. Instead, we act in alignment with our values and reason. One technique the Stoics used is the pause. When you feel stress building up, pause for a moment. Take a few deep breaths and allow yourself time to reflect before reacting. This small pause can make a huge difference in how you handle the situation. By practicing self-control, you regain your power in moments of stress. You become the master of your emotions rather than their servant. And in doing so, you reduce the negative impact of stress on your life. Lesson 5. Remember the impermanence of things. The Stoics were deeply aware of the impermanence of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact." This understanding of impermanence is a powerful tool for handling stress because it reminds us that nothing lasts forever. Not our problems, not our successes, and not our stress. Often when we're stressed, it feels like the problem we're facing is overwhelming and permanent. But Stoicism teaches us that everything is fleeting. The difficult situation you're dealing with today will not be the same tomorrow, next week, or next year. Time moves on, and so do our problems. By reminding ourselves of the temporary nature of life, we can put our stress in perspective. This doesn't mean we ignore our challenges, but it does mean we don't let them consume us. When you feel overwhelmed by stress, take a moment to remember that this too shall pass. Seneca also reminded us that time is our most precious resource. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, he said. Instead of wasting time worrying about things that will pass, we can focus on making the most of the present moment. Remembering impermanence helps us stay grounded in the present and reduces the weight of stress. It gives us the mental space to navigate challenges with more clarity and less anxiety, knowing that even the toughest situations are just temporary. Lesson 6. Focus on inner peace. One of the ultimate goals of Stoicism is to cultivate inner peace. The Stoics believe that true tranquility comes from within, not from external circumstances. Seneca wrote, "A man's peace of mind does not depend upon fortune, for even when he has nothing, he can still possess it." In other words, peace is an inside job. We often associate peace with the absence of stress, but Stoicism teaches us that peace is something we can cultivate even in the midst of stressful situations. It's about maintaining a calm and composed mind, regardless of what's happening around us. When we focus on inner peace, we become less reactive to external events and more grounded in our own sense of well-being. One way to cultivate inner peace is through mindfulness, being fully present in the moment and accepting things as they are. The Stoics were mindful of their thoughts, emotions, and actions, always striving to live in harmony with their principles. By practicing mindfulness, we can stop the cycle of overthinking and worrying that often fuels stress. Another Stoic technique is journaling. Marcus Aurelius used his journal to reflect on his thoughts and emotions, helping him maintain inner peace in the face of life's challenges. Writing down your thoughts can be a powerful way to release stress and gain clarity on what's truly important. Inner peace isn't something that comes from a stress-free life. It comes from building resilience and practicing calm, even when things are tough. By focusing on inner peace, we equip ourselves to handle stress with grace and strength. Lesson 7. Be mindful of your judgments. Stoicism teaches us that our judgments about events are often the source of our stress, not the events themselves. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." This means that our interpretation of situations, not the situations themselves, causes most of our suffering. Imagine getting caught in a rainstorm. You could see it as a frustrating inconvenience, or you could see it as a refreshing moment to enjoy nature. The event, the rain, doesn't change, but your judgment of it does. The Stoics believed that by changing the way we judge and interpret situations, we can significantly reduce our stress. One way to practice this is by questioning your initial reactions. When something stressful happens, ask yourself, is this really as bad as I think it is? Am I overreacting or making assumptions that aren't true? By challenging your judgments, you can start to see situations more clearly and respond more calmly. This lesson is about being mindful of the stories we tell ourselves about what's happening. If we frame everything in a negative light, stress will follow. But if we train ourselves to adopt a more neutral or even positive perspective, we can navigate life with much less emotional turmoil. The Stoics understood that our judgments shape our reality. By becoming more mindful of how we judge situations, we take control of our emotions and reduce unnecessary stress. This is a practice that, over time, can lead to a more peaceful and balanced life. Lesson 8. Cultivate resilience through challenge. Resilience is a key trait in Stoicism. The Stoics believed that life would inevitably present challenges, and how we respond to those challenges determines our strength and character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In modern times, we often try to avoid stress and discomfort, but Stoicism teaches us that challenges are opportunities for growth. Each time we face adversity, we have the chance to build resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger after setbacks. Think of resilience like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. Life's challenges are like the weights that strengthen your mental and emotional muscles. The Stoics encouraged us to face difficulties head-on, not shy away from them. By enduring hardship with grace, we cultivate resilience that makes future challenges easier to handle. One way to build resilience is by practicing voluntary discomfort. This is something the Stoics often did, whether it was taking cold baths, eating simple meals, or sleeping on the floor. These small acts of discomfort train the mind to become more resilient in the face of real stress. Resilience isn't about being unaffected by stress. It's about being able to recover from it quickly and effectively. By embracing challenges and seeing them as opportunities to grow, we develop the resilience needed to thrive in a stressful world. This mindset shift allows us to approach life's difficulties with confidence, knowing that each challenge is making us stronger. Lesson 9. Daily gratitude practice. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices, not just in Stoicism, but in life. Seneca once said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." When you make gratitude a daily habit, it changes your outlook on the world. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong or what's missing, you start to recognize the abundance in your life. This shift in perspective is a powerful way to manage stress. Think about it. Most of our stress comes from thinking about things we lack, whether it's time, money, recognition, or something else. But when we practice gratitude, we focus on what we already have. Even in the worst of times, there's always something to be grateful for. Your health, your relationships, even the lessons you've learned from hardships. Start every day by listing a few things you're thankful for. You don't have to write a novel, just a few words. It could be as simple as, I'm grateful for this cup of coffee, or I'm thankful for the sunshine. Over time, this simple act will shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, which in turn reduces stress. The Stoics understood that external events don't determine our happiness. Our perception of those events does. When you make gratitude a daily practice, you're training your mind to see the good in every situation. And when you focus on the positive, stress loses its grip. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that even in imperfection, there's something to be thankful for. So the next time stress starts to creep in, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? You might be surprised by how much lighter you will feel. Lesson 10. Practicing mindfulness and Stoic meditation. Mindfulness and meditation are practices that can greatly reduce stress, and they were key components of Stoicism. The Stoics didn't meditate in the same way we think of meditation today, but they practiced a form of reflective thought that allowed them to stay grounded in the present. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, would reflect on his thoughts, emotions, and actions, analyzing how they aligned with Stoic principles. Mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment. When we're stressed, our minds often jump to the future or ruminate on the past. But stress cannot survive in the present moment. When we bring our attention to the now, whether it's through focusing on our breath, observing our surroundings, or simply noticing our thoughts without judgment, we stop feeding our stress. Stoic meditation, as practiced by the ancient philosophers, involves reflecting on what we can control and what we can't. This daily practice helps reinforce the Stoic mindset of focusing on internal strength rather than external circumstances. Epictetus taught that we should keep our attention focused entirely on what is truly our own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business, not ours. By reflecting on this distinction, we remind ourselves not to stress over things we cannot change. Here's a simple exercise you can try. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. As thoughts arise, gently bring your focus back to your breathing. After a few minutes, reflect on something that's been stressing you out. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, practice letting it go. If it is, think about how you can handle it with calm and intention. By practicing mindfulness and Stoic meditation regularly, you train your mind to stay calm under pressure, making stress a manageable part of life, rather than an overwhelming force. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how to live a better, more meaningful life. Leave a comment below on which of these lessons you will implement into your life. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and take care.